So, is when I hear your story, it reminds me of one of my friends. She had a coworker that was diagnosed with cancer, and she she was very dedicated to her to job and being successful, being there for her children. And she was fighting it, and she was fighting, and a lot of people thought she was going to be able to overcome it.
Yeah.
And the reason why I asked about your determination, your courage, is because it seems like she had someone that passed in her family, and when the person passed in the family, it seemed to change her because now you can see in her face that she was kind of giving up
Yeah.
because she had a close family member that passed. And the way that my friend tells me was that that was the moment where I guess everyone around knew that she wasn't going to make it. And shortly, I think it was a few days later, or maybe a week and a half after, she passed from it. But to hear your story where you had that initial thought, but then you decide that, you know what, I'm going to make the best of it. You continue to announce that races, races. To imagine to fly from Florida to California to do all of that while you're going through that. I could just imagine the state of mind. You must have been pretty determined to say that, you know what, I'm going to do this for me. I'm doing this for my children. I'm doing this for my career. I accomplished so much as a kickboxer and starting my own business. I am not going to let this beat me because so many other people have overcome this and I can do the same.
Yeah, I mean, I I I control the things I can, right? So I couldn't control the fact that I had cancer, but I could control which doctors I chose, which treatment I agreed to, and how I was going to live my life. And we all make choices every single day, and it's really easy to be a great version of yourself when everything's going right. When you're in good shape and your job is going great and this and that. And then I think it's more interesting to see who you are when the chips are down, when there's a crisis. And um, sometimes people, when they face crisis, they realize maybe I'm not doing the right thing. Maybe I'm not married to the right person. Maybe I'm not in the right career. And fortunately for me, when crisis struck, it just solidified who I was, that I was already doing the thing I love to do, with surrounded by the people I love to be with. And yeah, I was a little defiant. I didn't want to give cancer any of the victory. So I had to announce publicly that I had breast cancer because I knew I was going to show up on stages bald. So I didn't really have a choice. People were going to start asking questions. And if I hadn't have lost my hair, or if I wasn't going to, I probably wouldn't have told people what I was going through, because I'm a bit private. And my job as a service provider is to take care of other people and help them find joy. It's not to be, Debbie Downer, or it's not my job to be the spectacle. But I had to make a video announcement. I said, hey guys, listen, bad news. I was diagnosed with breast cancer. However, doctor said it's curable. So I will expect or accept no pity. You can root for me, but don't feel sorry for me. I will show up and I'm going to do my job and I'm going to perform as expected. Can't wait to see you. I'm going to be fine. And then, and I look at those videos. The video is actually still on my Fitness Facebook page. If anyone wants to go watch, it's very cocky of me. And then I had no idea what I was really in for. And so when my stomach exploded and I became this really sick person, I didn't want anyone to know what was going wrong. So publicly, throughout my entire breast cancer treatment, and people said, how are you? I would say, oh, fine, things are going great. I never once told them I was spending the night on the hotel bathroom floor before race day. I mean, I would spend all these nights on the hotel bathroom floor, sick as a dog. And then 4:30 a.m., my alarm would go off. I'd get up and I'd put on my clothes and I'd go over to my stage. And it's so interesting. And this is how I knew I was doing the right thing and I've chosen the right career, because the second I stepped on those stages, it was as though someone flipped my on switch and I got to be full force Fitz Kohler again. I got to stand there and like part the seas. When I make noise, the crowd makes noise too. And it's very cool to be able to get 20,000 people, jumping up and down like they're in a mosh pit. And so that really fueled me. I was fueled by my runners and my events. And I truly believe the running community was part of my cure. There's a lot of times where things could go wrong. Maybe I was hospitalized after the Buffalo Marathon last year. And again, nobody knew that while it was happening. But you could get an infection in the hospital. You could have an allergic reaction to some of the chemo drugs. It's never a safe space. But I decided I was just going to live every day to the fullest, no matter what. And I hope that if I were not able to beat this disease, I'm hoping I would have controlled my last days too. I'm hoping I would have had the people I love the most by my side and my favorite songs playing. And I hope I would have planned out my funeral to make sure it was as fun and bright and cheery as I would have wanted it to be. We all have choices. So, yeah, I love what I do. I do love what I do. And I'm so grateful I did survive cancer because it wasn't a guarantee.
Was your the races and announcing, was that like an escape for what you're
Yes.
going through? Because that at
Ab-
that point in time, you're like, nothing, I'm not going through this at this moment. You're in front of all these people, as you mentioned, you have all this energy, and you made an amazing point. And I was so happy to hear it that you said, I'm like how I was before this when I'm in
yeah.
front of all these people. Tell
Yeah.
us about that experience.
One of the greatest gifts of what I do is my attention is solely on the people that I'm trying to help and support. And so there was no room to focus on my headache or my tummy issues or my fatigue. I'm so fueled by my athletes. And, some of them are super speedster superstars up front, and good for them. I respect them and think they're great. My favorite people are the back of the packers. My favorite people are the people that are severely overweight, or they're wearing a brace on every joint, or they walk the whole way. The people that, you look at and think, holy cow, what are they doing at a race? Those are my favorite people. And so to be able to take good care of them, how could I think of me for even a second while surrounded by such gritty, hardworking, wonderful people that are working not only for their own health, but great causes, and they're supporting their community. It just, I have this great gift of service, and it's wonderful to be surrounded by the best people on the planet.